Hello, everybody. Excuse me. I'm Skip Elsummer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where it's obvious I just got out of the shower. My hair is wet. Um, Anyways, yeah, we watch old 16 millimeter films, and that was a film from the National Archives. And we've been doing some work with films from that collection for one of our clients. So I figured I'd show you some stuff. And that one didn't have sound, although I think I've located on the National Archives site a sound segment, which may or may not line up. And that's the thing is we post stuff that's silent, either because it never had a soundtrack, and that would be films from maybe the 20s, and maybe some of the 30s. Also, films like home movies, raw footage that was shot, outtakes. A lot of that doesn't have accompanying sound, so that's why that stuff gets posted. And I know it drives some people, contemporary audiences, crazy. So one of the things I'm thinking of doing is spinning off an AV Geeks silent channel, where it's just silent stuff, and concentrate on showing stuff that has sound, that are prints on the main channel. That might be one way to head off the insanity that people are feeling regarding here I'm navigating something right now, having, with all the films being showing up in their feed. I was gonna show you. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, let's see if you can see this. Okay, so I have been asking folks to contribute to a poll that I've posted on the community tab on my channel, which I don't know if you can navigate to it via a cell phone, but you can on your computer. And basically I'm asking, since we have literally thousands of new films to share, and we know it can be overwhelming, what is the amount that is too many to receive in a day? And right now, I don't know if that's up to date. Is that up to date? No, it's not. That's not the one. That's not the most up-to-date one. Let me see. I know this is fascinating. This is why you tune in to see. No, the more, yeah, I'll have a more recent one. This one is obviously not right. Okay. Anyways, I've been encouraging you and other viewers of the channel to chime in with what is too many films to add in a day. And I should say, I might not listen to what you have to say, but I'm trying to at least hear and come up with a good balance. That's too much. See ya.
Dear John, I'm leaving you for Wilbur. Regards, Cynthia. run of like 10 minutes of credits. And then they come back, and there's Bambi nibbling on the grass. And all of a sudden, this huge shadow looms over its head. And it gets bigger and bigger, and then this big hairy...
What is the meaning of this, Cynthia?
Oh, that? I thought I made it perfectly clear, John. I'm leaving you for Wilbur.
Why? What does he have that I don't have?
Wilbur owns this whole beautiful building. Don't you, Wilbur?
Yep, I sure do. You mean that's it? Just because of this pile of bricks and cement?
You got it, Jack.
I'm sure you two will be very happy here. See you.
So this is one of those, hey, they're going to demolish a building. I'm going to set up and record it, and then I'm going to somehow put a narrative around it. I've seen a couple of these. There's a really great one where someone, I feel like, and I could be getting this wrong, he's crossing the street, and instead of hitting the button to enable the crosswalk, there's another button above it that says destroy building, and he hits that and he tries to like not hit it, and then the whole building collapses. Anyways, that is a thing. That is a genre. I think there's probably 3 or 4, if not more, of those out in the world. Anyways, take me out to the ball game. Sing along. The audio on this is not very good. I mean, it's good, but the quality is kind of meh.
Kelly loved baseball games, knew the players knew all their names. You could see her there every day, shout hooray when they play. Her boyfriend by the name of Joe said to Coney Isle, dear, let's go. Then Nellie started to fret and pout, and to him I heard her shout, take me out to the ball game, take me out with the crowd, buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Now, fellas, let's have some real fun. Remember in the movies back home, a guy played the organ and sang, then words and pictures flashed on the screen and everybody sang. Well, let's do it like you did it back home. Come on, everybody, sing, but loud.
And cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Come on there, boys, now give up. It's the ball game. You know, good old American baseball. Now get in there and really pitch. And sing it out so loud they'll hear it all the way back home. Let's go!
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
So that little wow. I can tell how this film was scanned, and it was using a machine, I think it was a laser graphics, and it was using an optical sound head, and so the film, as it moved across the head, was very slightly going a little bit faster, a little bit slower, a little bit faster, a little bit slower, and that's what creates that wow and flutter. They have since fixed that, and now what they do is they actually visually take a picture of the optical soundtrack and then derive algorithmically what the soundtrack is, so you don't get that wow and flutter, and you actually get something that's a little bit crisper. Let's learn about some seeds of destruction. Boy, we're just burning through films today. Enjoy.
Seven links in the chain of life. Nature's raw materials, the sun's energy, the chlorophyll in the plants, topsoil, the organization of the living community, water, forests. Nature's gifts to mankind. When our nation's pioneers first opened up this land of ours, there seemed to be no limits to nature's bounty. Its wildlife, its water, and its forest land. No one stopped to think how this gift came into being. For the young and growing nation needed lumber for houses, for factories, for railroads. And the forests were attacked. Relentlessly, the giant trees were cut, trees that had taken hundreds of years to grow. That forest was one of nature's most important reservoirs of water and guardians of the soil. Where it has been destroyed, the whole character of our land has been changed, leaving it exposed and vulnerable. For example, the branches and slash left over after the trees are cut dry into tinder. Perfect fuel for a carelessly dropped cigarette or a bolt of lightning. The hillside turns into flame, and the fire spreads to the growing forest beyond. Every living thing is killed. The forest which shielded the soil has gone, never to return in our lifetime. No, this is not a bomb exploding. It's just a raindrop. Single drops of falling water striking the bare, fire-swept soil. But with the humus burned out of it, the soil will no longer absorb the rain. And when the rains come, the water tears the loose soil from the hillside and sweeps it into the valley. The seeds of destruction have been planted. A link in the chain of life has been opened. Because the water runs off the surface too quickly, the groundwater slowly dries out, and the water table falls below the reach of the grass roots. Some of the best species of grass die out. Thus, the cattle and sheep that the land once supported must be reduced in numbers, or they will overgraze the range. Overgrazing ruins and kills the land, leaving it as vulnerable as the fire-swept wastes above. The whole process of destruction gathers momentum to threaten the farmer on the fertile cropland of the plains. For as he plows his land and breaks the protecting sod, he must now guard against a triple danger: flood, drought, and wind. The seeds of destruction are fast developing. For with its protection gone, the topsoil begins to move. The hot air rising on the sun-baked surface of the land carries whirls of dust up with it. And when the wind begins to blow, the whole surface of the land may go up in the air. This dust will come back to earth again somewhere. But with its living organization gone and the humus blown out of it, it is a blanket of dead sediment that will only smother and ruin the good topsoil it falls upon. And the results? Another link has been opened in nature's chain. Step by step, the chain of evil consequences flows out from that burned forest. Floods roar down the valleys of the Mississippi and the Missouri. Floods from the mountains of Pennsylvania, from the cut-over lands of Ohio, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Montana, and Wyoming. The water which promised life and abundance now becomes a frightful instrument of destruction, murdering our land. Still another link in nature's chain of life cracks open. 100 years ago, most of our rivers ran clear and beautiful and were filled with fish. Today, mud and silt have wiped out the best fish in many of them and have driven out the most valuable varieties. Erosion is costing us 3 billion tons of soil each year. Day and night, winter and summer, our rivers are carrying away as mud the soil that once was fertile farmland, soil that might have produced grain and meat to feed a hungry world. Our topsoil, our most precious possession, is washing away. And what will happen when it's gone? Exactly what happened to the famine-ridden lands of China and Asia Minor, and to the ancient civilizations which died with the ruins of their once fertile soil. Are we going the same way? This was once a forest in California. This was once a farm in Tennessee. This was good grazing land in New Mexico. This was a cornfield in Mississippi. This is death, the final harvest from the seeds of destruction. Today, we as Americans face a very grave responsibility. The owner of productive land is a trustee responsible for the proper use of the land upon which the nation's life depends. The hour is late. The time to act is now. The conservation agencies of the government, the Forest Service and the Soil Conservation Service, the National Park Service, the Bureau of Reclamation, and the Fish and Wildlife Service, acting in cooperation with the states and with many private agencies, have already joined our battle and are fighting the fight to save our land and to ensure the future by wise management. While we as individuals cannot hope to accomplish much by ourselves, we can do this. We can seek out and join those private organizations which protect our wildlife and forward the cause of conservation. And through them, we can make our efforts effective. The broken links which have appeared in nature's chain of life can be welded together again through our cooperation and understanding, but only if we fashion a program of conservation built upon nature's principles. Live in harmony with nature, preserve her balanced scheme, and reap her bountiful harvest. Misuse the soil, destroy that balance, and face a ruined land. It is time to stop, look, and to remember that this is your land. America belongs to you.
Maybe I should rename this channel. Gee, I wish people would watch this film nowadays. Maybe that's what I should do. Oh, okay. So, here is, no, that's not right. That ain't right. Where is it? Is that it? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So here is the poll that I was talking about earlier. We've had 271 people voting, and I would love for more people to vote. Maybe I'll let this run until Monday and get a sense of all the people that watch the channel to chime in about what they think. So unfortunately, the poll on YouTube only let me have 4 options. No more than 6 a day is one of the options. No more than 24 a day, no more than 48 a day. Send them all. And then you're welcome to comment as well if because I'm looking for some sort of maybe creative solution. And, one of them I talked about was spinning off a silent channel to see if people will watch just silent material separately. Because I think that's what annoys some people is they're like, I don't want silent material. I want, something that has a soundtrack. So, yeah. So here today is, weather-wise, we're supposed to start getting a wintry mix, which in Raleigh means rain. We have what's called the Raleigh force field, where if you look at a weather map, you will see precipitation usually related to snow all around us. And then there's just an area where there's nothing but just rain. And that is the Raleigh force field. Talk to people from Raleigh next time you meet them and ask them if they know about what I'm talking about. This next film is called Rainshower, which is appropriate because that's what we're going to get. Enjoy.
Very early one morning, a photographer took his camera and went out to see what he could see. A rainstorm would be coming soon. He wanted to capture the look of the sky and the feel of the wind. He wanted to listen and look at everything around. Perhaps as you listen and look, you may be reminded of something you have seen or heard or felt on a day such as this.
That was nice. Yeah. So that happens. We have these films where there's just a little bit, if any, narration, and it's mostly just some sort of musical interlude with sound effects. And sometimes it's a nice break. Nice break. What we have learned is safety has a string attached. And this film will show you what we mean by that. Enjoy.
The men of American Bridge have two things in common. First, since the turn of the century, we have fabricated the nation's most important structures. And second, and more important, for as long as safety records have been kept, you have been among the safest steel fabricators in the world. Many of you here today might recall that in the 50s, you had an industry low rate of about 7 lost time accidents per million man-hours worked. You might also recall that American Bridge hired some joker in 1960 to make things even safer. Remember?
He's the Joker.
Lost time. That's my specialty. And it looks like this is going to be one hell of a good day today. I've been checking this mill all night. And with the help of a couple of patsies, I figure today's a great day for a couple of bone-busting, limb-crushing, lost-time accidents. And you know what that means. Stretchers, pain pills, confusion, compensation checks, crutches, canes, wheelchairs. Oh, this accident business is just one laugh after another. But it ain't easy. People are too safety conscious.
Whether you like the joker or not, he helped us reduce our accident frequency. Within a year, you drastically cut your accident rate by over 75%, and have maintained that rate ever since. And that's just the trouble. I'm Jack Long of American Bridge, and if you can stand a bad but sincere pun, I've been long on safety for a long time. In fact, I'm sure I'm as proud of this safety achievement as you are. Why? Let's face it. Safety is and must be a cooperative thing at American Bridge. You are not working in a feather factory, so no matter how alert you are, your work can be potentially hazardous unless you have good protective equipment and procedures. And that's where management helps. But no matter how well we have both done, if you're a realist about safety as I am, the past shouldn't impress you nearly as much as the present. And at present, it's easy to see. We're on a safety treadmill. We're not getting any worse, but we haven't improved very much in 10 years. In this age when progress is normal, standing still is really losing ground. And we've been standing still for 10 years, continuing to make most of the same mistakes the Joker warned us about a long time ago. Since nobody likes losing, I've asked our safety engineers to make a special study of recent accidents to see if they could spot any reason why we continue to make the same mistakes, and then come up with some suggestions to get us off this treadmill. These are the reports they've examined. And this is their recommendation. Note that it has a string attached. Safety always does.
American Bridge accident figures just don't figure. With the most modern production and safety equipment available, and with the most comprehensive safety program anywhere, American Bridge continues to have about 17 disabling accidents in its plants annually, adding up to nearly 3,000 days of lost time, untold misery, loss of paychecks. Perhaps this means we've reached the irreducible minimum and must resign ourselves to 17 disabling accidents annually, or 2 per million man-hours worked, from now on. Or perhaps the accident reports don't tell the whole story. Perhaps it's what they don't say that holds the key to fewer accidents. Remember what the Joker said caused most accidents?
Getting a guy's mind off his job. That's my system. Distraction. You gotta be some kind of screwball to want to hurt yourself or your buddies, but you gotta be only human to daydream on the job. And all of these guys are only human.
Well, distraction is a good explanation as far as it goes, but apparently it doesn't go far enough. After talking in depth to a number of recently injured employees, we've discovered that distraction has some close relatives that are just as deadly. And here they are. These items look innocent enough, but they really represent things that continue to cause accidents. Preoccupation, daydreaming, obliviousness, and absent-mindedness, all first cousins of distractions. We're going to show you how they've apparently been involved in the most frequent chronic and typical accidents that occurred recently at American Bridge. Since we could get no volunteers to act out the most crucial scenes, we're going to let Joe do it. Meet Joe Bridges, the sturdy stand-in, who will stand by until he's needed. Let's start with a typical crane accident. A crane has often been called the steelworker's best friend, but it has strings attached. If one hand orders the crane to land steel before the other hand is out of the way, an accident is clearly inevitable. What isn't clear is why a man with 20 years' experience handling steel would crush his own hand. Maybe it's because this man is an avid basketball fan, which made it difficult for him to think of anything else, including the fact that his hand could be trapped and crushed when the load spread. Give this man a hand. He deserves it. Give this man a hand, too. He might need a new one. He wouldn't had he simply used a hook to guide the lift. For every basketball fan, there's at least one football fan. Loaders working on flatbed trucks know where the truck bed ends, just as a football player knows where the playing field ends. But sometimes their mind gets tied up with other things. Maybe that's why this fellow ran out of truck. Maybe, just maybe, he was thinking of that great play by the home team last season. Maybe loaders whose minds are on football should wear football padding. This man is a good, experienced loader. Apparently, he's also quite a romantic regarding a gal he strung along until she roped him. With his experience, he knows as well as the next guy that rings can get you into just as much trouble in a fabricating plant as they can in a romance. Maybe this man was thinking, but not about his job. American Bridge sure isn't against romance, but if a steel fabricator wants to keep his ring finger, he should leave his wedding ring at home. With all the mechanical equipment around, it seems incredible that ladders could contribute to so many accidents. But they do. A ladder doesn't have any moving parts. But if nobody is steadying it, and if a man starts working on it before tying off, the whole ladder can move. And often does. Down. If the man had gone straight to the top of the ladder and tied off, this accident wouldn't have occurred. Why didn't he? It's anybody's guess. Perhaps this man had been sending his boy to college for 4 years, and his long and expensive dream was about to come true. Perhaps he was so preoccupied with his son scaling the heights of success that he forgot his own altitude problem. Let's hope the lad gets a good job. Somebody's got to support the family for a while. As every bowler knows, a wild hook can get you into split trouble. Every steel handler also knows that a wild hook is dangerous in splitting plates. Well, this man is both a good bowler and a good steel handler. His hook was a little wild last week, and he split in the last frame, costing his team the game. Maybe he feels like he let his team down, but he's going to let himself and something else down if he doesn't move clear of that hook. One thing is sure, this bowler's income is going to be a bit spare for a while, when all he had to do was stand clear. That piece of blocking is as obvious and out of place as a wolf in a sheep shed. An unnecessary danger that good management housekeeping could have eliminated, and should have, particularly with a proud father around. A proud guy's one thing, a fall guy's another. When baby needs a new pair of shoes, and when a good housekeeping report would have prevented this accident report. Sometimes, in a fabricating shop, pride goeth after the fall. The bigger the material being handled, the bigger the potential danger. This confined area is certainly no place for a man to get trapped, particularly an experienced man. And no place to fail to clear both crane hooks. And definitely no place to push the wrong button and order the crane to move in the wrong direction. What would cause an experienced man to put himself in double jeopardy and wind up like this? Golf, perhaps. If his mind was playing golf, while his hand was directing a crane, maybe before he dropped, he was remembering a putt that didn't. Maybe his only golf from now on will be watching it on TV. Believe it or not, there's a bright side to American bridge accident reports. They also record accidents that didn't happen because somebody was alert or anticipated danger. For example, the safety rules advise a check of all new grinding wheels before using them because they might have imperceptible cracks or fractures. Unfortunately, not everybody follows that rule. But those who do are occasionally rewarded by watching a defective wheel burst in a testing box rather than in his hands. The testing box exposes some defective wheels every year, every one of which could have meant an injury and misery for someone. Here are several more accidents that didn't happen because they were turned in time. Worn tools go around looking for trouble and often find it. So don't be a victim of your own tools when all you have to do is turn them in for repair or replacement. Besides, wouldn't you rather work with tools like these? Sometimes, accidents are avoided more by good luck than good management. Take the recent case where a backup horn on a Jeep had been disconnected. Well, the Jeep almost connected with an innocent worker who was luckily saved at the last second by an alert fellow worker, who promptly and properly gave the Jeep driver a few beeps of his own.
You just picked your backup signal. Well, you weren't here when I come in.
One of the best parts of the workday is going home to join your family or maybe to hurry to get in a quick 9 holes at a nearby golf course. But some days, unfortunately, a man leaves work a little early and doesn't come back for a while. Why? Mainly the record suggests because, whether foreman or fitter, people are only human and can get momentarily preoccupied with other thoughts. But if it's human to daydream, it's just as human and more profitable to learn by past errors and thus improve. And I'm sure we can and will improve. In fact, I'm confident we can cut our accident rate in half starting this year. How? Well, since we claim that safety has strings attached, we're going to try to pull a few strings for you. And here's the plan. Just as strings can complicate things and trip you up, strings can be effective reminders. Of course, at American Bridge, even strings have strings attached. You can't wear anything on your fingers, so instead, we're going to put the string closer to where a reminder ought to be. Right here. You'll get one of these decals today. A red slip knot that simply says, a mental slip-up can be dangerous. So keep your mind on what you're doing. You'll see it on your own hat when you put it on, and you'll see it on your co-workers' hats all day. And to really play out the safety string, you'll also see it all over the shop on new posters we're putting up. Posters to remind you that the life or limb you save may belong to the best bowler, or golfer, or fisherman, or the breadwinner in your home. Of course, we won't get the accident rate down unless cooperation is up. But if you pay enough attention to the slip knot to get it under your hat, and if this message becomes second nature to you, solving our safety problems and reaching our new goal will be easy. There's one last thought I'd like to leave with you. Some of the best things in life have strings attached. Why not American Bridge safety?
A hard hat is useless if you don't have it on. And goggles are worthless if you leave them in the john. Now summer has a spring attached, lasting lover ring attached, and safety has a string attached. Remember and you won't go wrong. Remember and you won't go wrong.
I can check that gear in a minute, so don't touch anything, okay? Hey! Get down from there! Now! Turn it over! What if it bumped that control by accident? You'd be mincemeat by now. What have I told you? You don't work on equipment when the engine's running.
Well, I told him not to touch anything. All right, I guess I wasn't thinking.
You weren't thinking? You mean you'll work on engines and machinery and not think of your own personal safety? Here. Shake hands with danger.
Shake hands with danger. Meet a man you ought to know. I used to laugh at safety. Now they call me Three-Fingered Joe. I was young and feisty. Never did things by the book. Just let me get my toolbox and I'll take myself a look. I climbed up on a dozier with my mechanic's pride. Said, you can keep it running, friend, while I poke around inside. Shake hands with danger, meet a guy you ought to know. I used to laugh at safety, now they call me Three-Fingered Joe. Although I learned a lesson, I forgot it soon enough. The and scratches showed the young ones I was tough. Till another morning I was grinding on some steel. My other hand got careless and fed my skin into the wheel. Shake hands with danger, step right up and say hello. Grinding wheels and metal are what made me Three-Fingered Joe. I've seen mechanics burning, and I've seen them take a fall, just to save themselves a minute. I've seen them lose it all. I've watched them courting trouble, seen them take a chance and lose. They get careless for a moment and spend a lifetime with the blues. Shake hands with some friends I used to know. Compared to them, I'm lucky to be just Three-Fingered Joe.
So that is The Gift That Keeps On Giving. Katrina commissioned her singer-songwriter friends to create a remix or a new version of Shake Hands with Danger. And that's what it was. And the band is called Monologue Bombs. Scott Phillips, I've had him on. He was one of the main people behind it. How can you imagine another safety film featuring a Joe character, Joe Bridges? And yes, I want to find that Hans Conrad safety film where he's dressed as a Joker during the entire film. It sounds like people really hated it over at American Bridge. And so I will work hard to try to find it. I will add it to my seeking list. And thank you for tuning in today and watching. Actually, this whole week. It feels good. I like you folks. I like showing you films. And again, I would love your feedback. If you haven't chimed in yet, here's what I want you to do. 1, hit the thumbs up button or the like button. 2, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. 3, go to the community tab on our channel and vote as far as what is the frequency that you would like to see as far as the films that we have, the several thousand films that we have. If we do 6 films a day, what that means is that it will take us many years to share what we currently have. That's not saying what's going to happen when we get back into the archive and we start scanning our own materials. So let me know. Like 6 is a lot of people are voting for that, but I'm not voting for that. I want to give you more, but I also don't want to alienate people. And anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Please be safe. Different parts of the country are suffering from different things, whether it's winter storm related or fire related or I don't know, any other things. Just be safe. Take care of yourself. We want to see you again next week. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will see you soon.